Hey everyone, and welcome back. So we're getting used to using Figma and Smart Anime before we really jump into things because things can get out of hand really quickly if you don't really know how to use them. So we talked a lot about some of the examples in terms of the different types of properties that you can really animate with Smart Anime. Let's get into actually applying those to things like, screens, so you can actually see how they can become a little bit more useful when thinking about real life examples before we actually get into some real life examples. So over here, we have 3 different screens that I have designed. Once again, keeping the layer names all the same. So what you see here is that what I want to do actually is I want something to happen where this item in the list, if I'm thinking about this as an actual application, it could be like a mail application or something like that. But I want to make sure that whatever is on this list over here, this item, rectangle 17 in particular, is going to, animate the fill. And then from there, something else is going to happen. It's going to disappear. So, we're going to animate a couple of different properties here. So what I've done is I have these rectangles all placed. I have like a little mini navigation at the bottom. Feel free to do whatever you like at this point when it comes to experimenting a bit before we kind of get into a little bit more, detailed interactions. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this rectangle here, go back into my prototypes panel. Whatever the interaction I do or decide upon, I'm going to make sure that we're going to this screen. So what do we have here? So we just have on click. And I'm guessing what I'm going to do is if I click on this, the fill is going to change. Let me see what's going to happen. Okay, so once again, I've renamed my flows. I have this one named to simple transition 1. So this is my prototype. And if I click it, okay, I kind of have just like a little transition going here where we have the rectangle over here just changing a fill. Now let's actually do something cool. Let's select this entire screen. You could do anything you'd want. It could be something else where it goes back or you need to drag it, but let's just do something automatically. So I'm going to take the whole screen and I'm going to do that other trick. I'm going to have after delay happen. And so after 300 milliseconds, we're going to smart animate to this next screen, which is going to be a 300 millisecond actual interaction. So it's going to be a click. Something's going to just kind of change briefly, and then it's going to move. And all these items, if you remember correctly, now we're kind of applying all these different properties together. These items are going to shift upward. Let's take a look. Because it's not just one item now that is actually be animated. You're learning about how to animate other items within your UI to, have some sort of effect, around their surrounding elements. This one is called rectangle 18. That's rectangle 18. This one is rectangle 19, and that one is rectangle 19. So now we automatically know that when I select smart animate, we're going to have these items actually slide up. So let's take a look at that prototype. Oh, it already did it. So now you're at the end of the prototype. What do? If I just press R, I restart my prototype. Or you can kind of go throughout the prototype by using your arrow keys. But let's kind of go to the beginning and start this whole transition all over again. So I'm going to click on this. And there you go. We've already created some sort of mailing thing. When you're swiping mail on your phone, whether that's like iOS or Android or whatever you're using in terms of a mail client, you automatically can like swipe and get rid of something. And then the rest of the pieces kind of jump up. Let's take a look at that one more time. So I've restarted it by pressing R. And if I actually click around, I can see the hotspot, and you can change that if you'd like. You can go up in here in options. You can change the scale of your prototype. So I have it fit the scale for now. And you can kind of show the hotspots if you want. So I have it now that it doesn't even show hotspots. Now this is like a real prototype. This is the real deal. Okay, we click, boom. Pretty beautiful. And you can even start to do other things, like if you wanted to, now if I select this whole group, like we could group this if we wanted, but we'd have to group it elsewhere, the other frames as well. But if I group these rectangles here, and I want to simulate something like searching for a new item, I can apply like the drag down interaction. So I'll show that in a later one right here. So that is how you kind of just start like putting these properties together, putting these interactions together to start creating, some of these small little flows for like deleting items and really showcasing how that's supposed to work and be implemented.